Hi, I'm Andrew, just your average content manager in the dynamic and competitive digital marketing sphere. I am 32 years old, by the way, and have been doing this content thing for a good while now. Although my life has been neutral for the longest time, I can't help but say that some recent happenings had my work life and personal life all up in the air. It was a real mess for a bit, but justice eventually came through. Before I spill the beans on this eventful chunk of my life, let me introduce myself properly. I was born and raised in good old Atlanta, and am still holding it down here. My parents got divorced when I was just 8 years old, and it clearly didn't bring out the best in me. They had tried their best to patch things up, but their paths just kept drifting apart, and eventually, they decided to part ways for the sake of finding their own happiness. It was pretty rough for a while, and I was not able to quite wrap my head around it at all back then, but I get it now. After the divorce, I was raised solely by my dad, Jason, and I owe him big time for all that he has done for me. He taught me everything I know about life and, most importantly, how to be a righteous man. Not too clearly, but I do remember this one preachy conversation I had with Dad growing up, and now that I look back, I know what it all meant. Andrew, I have been meaning to have a chat with you about something important. You know, as you are growing up, there is something I really want you to keep in mind. What is that, Dad? Son, I want you to always strive to be a righteous man in life. Do you know what that means? Not really. What does it mean? Being righteous means doing the right thing, even when it's tough as nails. It's about keeping it real, playing fair, and spreading kindness, no matter what life throws your way. Got it, Dad. So always do the right thing, even if it is hard, right? So, as a content manager, I have tried to keep those life lessons closest to my chest. Sure, I know my work revolves around churning out content and whatnot, but for me, it is also about staying true to my roots and making a real impact. The place I worked at for the longest time was basically a digital marketing firm, and it helps businesses get their products or distinct services out there on the web using tools like social media, SEO, and online ads. For anyone who's wondering, it's just like having a crew of digital salesmen who are boosting your online presence. As a content manager in this domain, my work involved cooking up and managing all sorts of digital content to push brands, products, or services online. I also tagged along with clients to make out their goals and develop content strategies that vibed with their brand and target audience. All in all, being in the digital marketing game allowed me to blend my creativity, strategic brain, and love for spinning tales to help brands connect with their people in the digital world. But not everything can go seamlessly in your life, right? While I was truly enjoying my work life, there was a certain someone who made sure to give me hell. My boss, Nathan, the head of the whole marketing department at our place, was the meanest, most rotten soul I have ever known and met. He was like a dark cloud that was always casting shadows over us all. Nathan literally thrived on power and enjoyed messing with people's heads. He got his kicks from tearing us down and watching us squirm beneath him, seeing our struggles as some twisted form of entertainment, and found joy in our pain. He was truly sadistic. The minute Nathan strolled into the office, the whole place got so tense and jittery. Everyone in the office would start walking on thin ice around him and was too scared to stand up or speak out because we knew that he would come down hard on anyone who dared challenge him. People had tried going to HR many times to report him, but it had always backfired. He somehow sniffed out and came to know who ratted him out, and the consequences were brutal, to say the least. He would either boot them out of the office or make their lives a living hell day in and day out until they resigned. And frankly speaking, even I have lost count of how many times he screwed me over. Be it snatching my credit, my promotions, and even my paychecks. The guy had no boundaries. Like, there was this one time when we had this massive project in the works and it was a real big deal for the company. My team was grinding non-stop, day and night to make it happen, and I also had thrown myself into every part of the project and was dead set on knocking it out of the park. We had pulled endless all-nighters and were sweating over every detail. I was damn sure our work was going to wow everyone in the room once we present it, but as we got closer to wrapping things up, I had this nagging worry in the back of my mind. Despite all the work and dedication I had put in, I knew that Nathan had a talent for swooping in and hogging the spotlight, by taking all the credit and leaving the rest of the people who actually did the whole work in the dust. And sure enough, that is exactly how it went down. As the presentation kicked off, Nathan swooped in like he owned the place and started spinning tales of his greatness and leadership without skipping a beat. It made my stomach turn watching him overshadow all the hard work my team put in and making himself out to be the lone hero of the story. I was stuck and was watching in total shock as he literally steamrolled over our hard work and made it seem like we were just along for the ride. I was boiling with anger and was trying my best to keep it together, but man, it was tough. It felt like a punch in the gut, seeing all our effort reduced to a mere afterthought in the twisted version of reality that he was showing. Nathan had done it yet again and snatched away the recognition that was rightfully ours. This time, though, I was seriously thinking about calling him out on his behavior, or at least having a chat about it. Mr. Adkins, may I have a moment of your time? What is it, Johnson? I am busy right now. It is about the presentation earlier today. I could not help but notice that, sir, with all due respect, you took full credit for the project that I have been leading for the past several months. And what exactly is your point, Johnson? Well, sir, I just wanted to say that I feel a bit disappointed. I had put a lot of hard work and dedication into this project, and it would have been nice to receive some recognition for my efforts. Recognition? Do you want recognition? You are lucky I don't fire you for your insolence. This is my project, and I will take credit for whatever I damn well please. I was so shocked hearing him. But then I realized this is who Nathan was, and I thought it better to not say anything anymore. I understand, sir. I apologize for speaking out of turn. I will make sure to keep my concerns to myself from now on. That is more like it, Johnson. Remember, you are lucky to even have a job here, let alone be leading projects. If you can't handle that, perhaps you should find employment elsewhere, because, at the end of the day, I am not just a marketing director, but also a shareholder in this company. My call is final. Sorry, sir. I will do as you say. After that whole mess, I could clearly tell that Nathan had his sights set on me big time now. It was like I had painted a target on my back just by speaking up a little, and it was clear as day that I had made a grave mistake. Now, a few days later, the whole office was buzzing with excitement over rumors of salary bumps, which spread like wildfires all over the office. We were all hoping for a nice fat raise to reward our hard work, and I was pretty sure mine was going to be super thick, given I had been working non-stop. When the day finally came, I was a bit on edge and was waiting for the big announcement, but as the meeting started and they revealed the salary adjustments, my heart sank. While everyone else was celebrating their bigger paychecks, mine barely budged. Even though I had been working day and night in this firm for the past 5 years, I was left with nothing but disappointment. Then slowly, I went from being confused to flat-out furious as I pieced it all together. It was Nathan. It had to be him, no doubt about it. I slowly started to connect the dots and realized it was payback for me speaking up about the project credit, and he wanted to teach me a lesson for daring to challenge him. I was so tempted to march straight to Nathan's office and demand answers from him, but I knew deep down that it would not get me anywhere. He had all the power, and picking a fight with him would just dig me into deeper trouble. And yes, my suspicions were spot on. When I went into Nathan's office the next day for some work, things went just as I expected. Andrew, I heard you did not get much of a raise this time. Yes, sir. Believe me, I was just as surprised and disappointed as you are. Surprised and disappointed? Well, let me make one thing clear, Johnson. This is not a democracy. You either fall in line or face the consequences. You know what I mean, right? Yes, sir. I understand. Good. Because let me remind you, what happened with your salary is just a taste of what happens to those who dare to cross me. Consider this a warning. Oh, I couldn't even stand the guy. I swear I must have wasted half my life just cursing him. I thought he had hit rock bottom in terms of being a jerk, but man, I was so wrong. Because what he pulled later on showed me that he could sink even lower than I thought possible. After the Cold War that unfolded between us, we welcomed a handful of interns to our company, and one of them landed in our department. They had to go through a whole interview process before being selected, and Mia was our fresh-faced intern. She literally shone with ambition and brightness, and it was evident in her every action and word. Talking with her, I could see that she was eager to jump into the fast-paced world of digital marketing and so ready to soak up all the knowledge she could. In just a few days, Mia had settled in like she had been with us forever. Despite her initial worries, she quickly proved herself a valuable addition to the team. With her sharp eye for detail and strong writing skills, she also tackled tasks quite easily. And I could always see that she aimed to go above and beyond in delivering top-notch content. Nathan had put on his best act of charm and sophistication when he met Mia, but I knew all too well that she would see through his fake facade eventually and realize what kind of boss he really was. A few days later, we got a heads up about the company's office party coming up soon. As soon as I got to know, I passed the message along to my team, filling them in on the details. Those parties were always a blast, and so everyone was stoked, hearing about it. Mia, how are you finding everything so far? It has been overwhelming, to be honest. There is so much to learn, but I'm glad everyone has been really welcoming and helpful. Yeah, I know what you mean. It can be a lot to take in at first, but you will get the hang of it in no time. Trust me. I hope so. I am really excited to dive in and start working on some projects. All of this is pretty fascinating. Definitely. There is never a dull moment around here, that is for sure. If you ever need any help or have any questions, feel free to ask. I am here to lend a hand. Thanks, Mr. Johnson. You can call me Andrew. Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Andrew. I really appreciate that. It is nice to know I have someone to turn to if I need it. Of course. We are all in this together. Oh, and by the way, there is an office party happening later today. You should join us. That sounds like fun. I would love to. Thanks for inviting me. No problem at all. It would be a great chance for you to get to know everyone better outside of the office. Looking forward to it. Me too. See you at dinner, Andrew. See you then, Mia. Once again, welcome to the team. When I reached the party, the room was alive with laughter and chatter from the employees, as everyone mingled and enjoyed the party. I was having a look around and glanced over at Mia, who was caught up in a lively chat with a coworker, and that was exactly when I had spotted Nathan stumbling her way. It was obvious he'd had a few too many drinks. In the blink of an eye, Nathan started dropping odd comments on Mia. At first, she tried to brush off his slurred words and wobbly steps and laughed it off a bit, but I could see the discomfort in her eyes growing as Nathan's behavior got more and more out of the line. He was making unwanted advances and his words were dripping with weirdness. He kept bugging her non-stop. I could tell Mia was too scared, and nobody there was stepping in to help her because, well, Nathan. Everyone was too scared of him or worried about losing their job to do anything. Mia, on the other hand, looked trapped and vulnerable and was desperately searching for a way out. I knew I had to do something before things got even worse. All those lessons about doing what is right from my dad were not for nothing. I knew there would be consequences which may also result in me losing my job, but I couldn't just stand by and watch it all. So I went over and pulled Nathan away from her and told him to knock it off because Mia was clearly getting super uncomfortable. Mia looked so relieved and grateful, and she hurried away from the scene. Nathan was fuming. He exploded in my face, but I did not back down. What the hell do you think you are doing, Johnson? I am sorry, Nathan, but I think Mia was feeling very uncomfortable. I had to step in. Uncomfortable? Shut up. Nothing was happening there. You have no right to interfere in my personal affairs. I understand, Nathan, but as your employee, I can't stand by and watch all this. I think you are drunk, sir, and should head back home. I said what was rightfully to be said and had no regrets because Nathan desperately needed a reality check. Hey, do you think you can lecture me on what is appropriate? You are nothing but a pathetic excuse for an employee. I am sorry, sir, but I am just trying to do what is right. I decided I was not going to bite my tongue this time. I had made up my mind to speak up, and I wasn't going to let him bully me this time. I had reached my breaking point. But you dare to oppose me? I will make sure you regret this. You are fired, Johnson. Get out of my sight. Sir, I think you are drunk. Let's talk about this rationally. I said get out, and do not bother coming back. I stormed out of there and was literally boiling with anger and confusion. I could not believe Nathan had fired me just for standing up to him. Even though he couldn't really fire me without proper procedures, I was still tense. After my initial rage cooled off, I was left feeling tense and unsure about what to do next. I hoped maybe when Nathan sobered up, he would realize his mistake and give me my job back. Sure enough, the next morning, I got a call from Nathan and he asked me to come to his office for a chat. His tone sounded different to me, like maybe he regretted what he had done. So I headed over to meet him and hoped for the best. Johnson, get in here. Yes, sir? Did you want to see me? Sit down. We need to have a little chat. Okay, what is this about? You know damn well what this is about. Last night at the party, you had the audacity to pull me away. You embarrassed me in front of everyone. I apologize, sir, but I felt she was uncomfortable. Uncomfortable? Who are you to judge what is comfortable? You are just a mere worker, Johnson. A nobody. I understand, sir, but I was just trying to. Well, your little stunt has consequences, Johnson, because I did not lie when I said you were fired last night. Consider this your last day here and pack up your things. Let me remind you once again, you are fired. But sir, you can't do this. No buts, Johnson. You crossed me, humiliated me, and now you will pay the price. Consider it a lesson learned. If I was mad before, I can't even describe how furious I was then. I was left without a job just for doing what was right, and at that point, I wondered if being nice to people was even worth it when jerks like Nathan always seemed to come out on top. At that moment, I got a call from one of my team members, Alex. Alex was a content writer on my team, and we had been working together for a good while. He told me that he had recorded the whole thing that went down at the party, and I felt a surge of relief and joy hearing that. Now, I finally had some leverage against Nathan, since I was not under him anymore. I told Alex to shoot me the video ASAP, and I made sure to stash it away safe and sound. Later that day, I was just chilling in my apartment, reading a book, when I heard a knock at the door. I opened it up, and there was Mia, standing there with the biggest grateful grin on her face. I was kind of surprised and puzzled to see her, but I welcomed her in. Turns out, Mia wasn't alone. There was another guy with her, and they both came inside. Mia, what are you doing here? Andrew, I just wanted to thank you. After what happened at the office party, I couldn't stop thinking about how you stood up for me when no one else did. You saved me from a really uncomfortable situation, and I'll never forget that. Oh, it was nothing. I just could not stand seeing you in such an uncomfortable situation. Well, it meant a lot to me. You were the only one who stepped in, and I do not know what I would have done if you had not. I am really glad I could help. No one deserves to be put in that position, especially at work. Yeah, it was really scary. But you made me feel safe, and I can't thank you enough for that. That is all right, Mia. But I have to admit, I was not expecting you to come all the way to my place just to thank me. Well, I figured a simple thank you was not enough. Besides, I need to tell you something important. I know this will be overwhelming for you, but trust me, it's not what you think. After that, Mia started introducing the guy next to her as her boss, Mark. I was totally confused at this point, like how could this dude be her boss? Then Mia filled me in on all the details. I hope you will not be upset hearing this piece of information. Go ahead. What is it? Well, the truth is that I'm not an intern. I am a journalist. What do you mean? A journalist? Yeah, Andrew. Honestly, I was here for some research work. I actually work for a newspaper, and we were doing this article on the reality behind office life, and then we got some tips about your boss, so we figured this would be the perfect place to scope things out. And as it turns out, the intel was spot on. I don't know what to say. Why did you not tell me sooner? I was afraid of how you would react. But after everything you have done for me, I could not keep lying to you. And the other night, when you helped me out at the office party, I realized I needed to tell you the truth. I see. Can I ask who exactly gave you the intel? I am sorry, I can't spill the beans on our source, but we got a bunch of reports about some shady stuff going down in the company, and we already had this article in the line, so our team saw it as the perfect chance to dig up the dirt and get to the bottom of things. Wow, that's heavy. Suddenly, I remembered the video Alex had sent to me. Mia, I have it on tape. Whatever happened at the party, Alex recorded it all and sent that video to me. Seriously? Yes, and I wanted to ask you if you are comfortable sharing it. That way we can expose the doings of Nathan. Yes, I am. I will speak up about it. It has been a long time coming. Mia replied in an instant. But let me tell you, you are really going to create an uproar with that video. I know I have thought this through. I will go along with it and do it. It is a good thought, Mia. I hope this time some action is taken against Nathan so that others do not have to go through what we went through. You are right, Andrew. Mark was sitting silently all this while and listening to our conversation. When we were done, he started briefing me about the newspaper they worked for. And to tell you all the truth, it was a pretty big name, and they also had blog posts and magazines to their name. All in all, they explained the entirety of the situation to me and asked me to keep it all a secret. Then Mark said something that left me totally shocked and feelings elated. After Mia told me about the whole incident, I've been meaning to talk to you, and that's why I'm here today. Oh. Okay. Well, I wanted to thank you first for helping out Mia the other night. It meant a lot to her, and I assure you that it didn't go unnoticed. Oh, no problem at all. I'm glad I could help. She seemed like she was in a tough spot. Exactly, and I appreciate your quick thinking and willingness to step in. It's not every day you see someone go out of their way like that. Well, I just believe in doing the right thing, you know? And that is exactly why I think you would be a great fit for our team. We are actually looking for a content manager, and I think you have the skills and the integrity we are looking for. What? Wow. I mean, I am honored, but are you sure? Of course. I've been impressed by your work ethic and your ability to handle difficult situations with grace. I think you would bring a lot to the table. Thank you so much. I can't believe it. I'm really excited about the opportunity. What would the next steps be? Well, let's set up a formal interview so we can discuss the role in more detail and see if it is a good fit for both of us. Sounds great. I will make sure to brush up on my skills and prepare some questions for the interview. Perfect. I look forward to speaking with you more. Thank you for this opportunity. I would not let you down. Andrew then filled me in on all the nitty-gritty details of the job and what I had to do. After they had left, I felt this wave of calmness wash over me, like I was on cloud 9, and it really hit home that being good eventually pays off. Also, a few days later, Mia dropped the bombshell by releasing the whole video under a fake social media handle, and her company even backed it up with a headline. The footage clearly showed Nathan acting all sloppy, slurring his words, stumbling around, and making inappropriate comments towards Mia, who clearly looked uncomfortable and distressed. It caused a huge uproar and condemnation from everyone. The video went viral, and the scandal took over the news cycle and totally wrecked the reputation of our once respected marketing director. Mia also told me that there was a flood of calls coming from employees, clients, and the public alike, demanding that he should be fired and also be accountable for his actions. Amidst all this chaos, I got a call from Nathan, out of nowhere. "Johnson, I need some answers and I need them now. Did you release that video of me from the office party?" "Yes, I did. And you know what? I would do it again in a heartbeat." "How dare you? You first humiliated me at the party, and now you are trying to destroy my career." "Destroying your career? You did that to yourself, Nathan. You were drunk and hitting on that girl, and I could not just stand by and let it happen." "That is none of your damn business. You had no right to interfere." "No right? You are kidding, right? You were crossing all sorts of lines and someone needed to put a stop to it. You think you are some kind of hero? You are just a disgruntled ex-employee with an axe to grind." "I am not a hero. But I did what was right. And now everyone knows who you really are. You are delusional if you think this is going to end well for you. You have made a powerful enemy. I am not afraid of you, Nathan. I did what I had to do, and I have no regrets. You will regret this, Johnson. You will regret it for the rest of your life." That footage really messed up the company's reputation big time. It used to be all respected and stuff, but now it was sinking like a ship. People started talking trash about it, and no matter how hard the company tried to spin it, the damage was done and the fallout from that scandal was like a wrecking ball. Ultimately, Nathan was fired from the post of marketing director and his career and reputation were totally wrecked. Meanwhile, Mia did not hold back and shared more about Nathan's tyrant ways around the office as well. She got a ton of love and support from everyone, and they were all cheering her on for speaking up and setting the record straight. So after a year and a half, when I am in a much better place, all I could say is that Nathan finally got what was coming to him, and honestly, I could not be happier. After all the crap he had put me through, seeing him crash and burn felt like justice served. I had waited so long for payback, and let me tell you, it was pure satisfaction. Revenge had never tasted so sweet. Under his breath. I'll see you later.